Welcome to the Prospect Warehouse podcast. This is your host, Tim Kanak. You can find me on X at Fantasy Aceball. And, Doc, I miss you, man. Hey, you're like, now you're like, you seem so distant.
Yeah.
We're back into the AI verse. But Doc's here at Doc Eisenhauer. We're just not together in person this time. He's back home. You see, look at the chest line. If you're watching, look at the collarbone. I asked Doc, I was like, you get a little red? Because he was telling me he fell asleep. I don't want to say he passed out. He took a nap on the beach.
I passed out on the beach.
Yeah, I'll let you say you passed out on the beach.
Well, I mean, we were having some drinks. I went out to the sun, closed my eyes. One thing leads to another. And that's the male privilege, That's the male privilege. You can't just if I had a teenage daughter said, I went by myself to Fort Lauderdale and just passed out on the beach for an hour. So I'd be like, no, what? You can't.
Yeah.
So there's a few situations where, I could have still got robbed, but I had my my backpack with me, but I slept on the backpack. So
yeah, that's the move.
I wasn't out of it. I was making educated buzz / possibly kind of drunk decisions.
Yeah, I've done that before. I've actually gone to the beach, and I haven't quite camped on the beach, but I have taken like a nighttime nap on the beach before. When
I was not resisting the nap, just everyone's aware. This wasn't like I got, because some people pass out when they don't want to pass out. This was like I was completely fine.
Yeah, you leaned into it for sure. So, yeah, the thing you have to watch out for on that beach is the parking. Like we were accosted by a foreign couple that could not figure out the parking meters. And it's not cheap to park in Fort Lauderdale. So you don't want to nap and then overstay your parking meter. And then all of a sudden you got like a $200 ticket for parking on the beach. It sucks. I don't like Palm Beach. The parking here is free. It's a Broward, Miami-Dade thing where they charge you like an arm and a leg just to go hang out. So anyway, we're here to talk second base. We're hanging out to talk about second base right now. So we're gonna go straight into it. Boom! Look at that, Doc. Here we go. First tier. Can you believe it? My number one dynasty second baseman is Kevin McGonigal. So we got Kevin McGonigal at number 1, Jazz Chisholm Jr. at number 2, JJ Weatherholt at number 3, Bryce Terang at 4, and Ketel Marte at 5. You have to keep 2 of these fine gentlemen, draft 1, and cut 2.
Okay. So I want to just do something real quick. Every time I look at Bryce Terang's stats, I'm always like, wait, he did what? So I want to make sure I get the full picture. I feel like he's just this is such a crazy thing. Like what he's become. Now we're doing 18 home runs, actually heading for, great ratios. Savant page backs up. It's the last thing I did see. And so that's why I wanted to double check it, because before this year, this would be a lot easier, right? I don't know who's the real Bryce Terang at this point. I'm keeping Weatherholt and McGonigal for sure. I'm cutting Chaz Chisholm for sure. Yeah, it's because I don't like
buying it, huh?
This is not my guy. It's funny. Like Michael Garcia and him, they were both going at it. Michael's got a bit of an edge to him. But at least he's not always motor mouth, always prima donna, always this, that, and the other, always getting hurt. But Chaz Chisholm, hey, he had a great year last year statistically, but the game it's mental, and so we'll see if he can, avoid the pitfalls of being kind of a knucklehead moving forward. He won't be on my team. I don't like owning them. People, it's so funny in dynasties when people offer it to me and I immediately hit reject. Like, whoa, you don't want him? I'm like, no, dude. No interest. He's like, no, but if you think about it, start pitching me on him. I'm like, no, it doesn't matter how good he is at the sport. His athletic ability is obvious. I'm aware. Anyway, but the tough thing for me would be deciding between Terang and Marte. So obviously Terang's going to give you that. It's just, do you believe that this is there or not? The Savant page is telling me, yes, it is there. Yes, it's a real thing that Terang could be this 5-tool guy forever. I love pure hitters who have been relatively reliable though, and that's Ketel Marte. Gosh, yeah. Just looking back at his page now, this is tough. I'm gonna go with Marte. They're gonna draft Marte. That's not easy, because to rank again. This is for the drafting, so it's a weird what we're doing here. We're doing keep draft. Like you could argue that drafting enables you the opportunity to maybe keep him next season in our fictional world we're doing, but
you do not have an opportunity
in this situation.
It's like a final offer. It's like
you get to draft him, and then he's guaranteed to not be kept the next year. Yeah.
Yes.
So in that situation, it's just safer. It's just better to go with Ketel Marte. In my opinion, you're not going to get the stolen bases, but you could get 30 to 40 home runs, which probably not 40, but 30 to 35 home runs, which is pretty nice out of a second baseman. But you got to go get your speed elsewhere. Is what you got to do.
Yeah, this is an interesting tier. Would you have I know you kept McGonigal and Weatherholt, but would you have these guys ranked this high for this position in Dynasty?
I don't even have your other ranks in front of me. I got to go look at who I have at second base. The problem with second base is it's what do we think the second basemen are going to be in terms of what position will they play moving forward versus what do they qualify for right now? For example, I can plug it. Speaking of the guy, Maikel Garcia, I can plug him in a lot of leagues at second base, despite him appearing to be a third baseman in real life, but he may still retain, depending on your league's format, second base just by popping over there from time to time. Same with Caleb Durbin. We don't know what he's going to be doing. Again, so if we're counting Maikel Garcia in this group, I'd have him as my number one, actually. But
yeah, he's not going to be. That's the thing is long term. What you're going to get him in this year only?
Well, we don't know that. We don't know because Josh Hammond's not coming up right away, but Josh Hammond's got a cannon of an arm, so it's going to be either him or Garcia probably goes to second base. It's funny to even have the conversation because Garcia is a Gold Glove third baseman now, but whatever.
Anyway. I guess the same thing could be said about McGonigal, right? McGonigal could come up this year at shortstop, and then he could to second this year because of Bryce Rayner. So it's possible that McGonigal is a 1-year shortstop and then moves to second base, or a year and a half.
Yeah, I'm also forgetting friggin' Jackson Holiday exists. Yeah, he'd be a keeper for me. So
you're just going a little far here. He's not in this tier to me.
What I'm saying is did you ask me would I have these guys this high? Is that what you meant? Or
yeah.
What did you mean? Did you mean other players?
Yes, basically that. Yeah, basically that. Do you think this is the right tier, or would you have more guys in it, or
Yeah, I'd have Jackson Holiday in this tier, 100%. I think that the hand injury is brutal, and it's just so frustrating. It keeps he's so young, so he can afford to keep on just being fine instead of being amazing. But just these things, it's just going to be another excuse to the haters, right? It's if he comes back in 2 months, it takes a while, or his power's sapped, and it's just frustrating because I like the kid. I think he's got a great future, but I'm still keeping him. I guess think about it this way: 22 if he's 22 right now, that's a lot of prospects who've never played MLB before. They never played Major League Baseball in their lives. This guy's got seasoning under his belt. It feels like he's been around for a while, but really he's
I guess
there are prospects who are older than him right now. I'm looking at one right now. His name's JJ Weatherholt. Look at 23 years old. So that's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, it is. So let's get now to tier. Actually, let me give you mine. I would definitely be keeping the same two guys. McGonigal is just going to be, I think, a superstar. And I think he's basically going to do what Ketel Marte has done, but he's a younger version. So he has upside still remaining, whereas Marte is going to be declining. So I think he's going to kind of do the same thing. And then Weatherholt, I feel is just going to be 2020 every year. And it's just going to be okay, is Weatherholt going to be second base or is he going to be third base long term? It's kind of what we're looking at. So, but I think I'm drafting Jazz, even though he's hurt every year. It's just the steals. It's just you're going to get a worse batting average. Marte is going to hit 280 maybe with the same amount of home runs as Jazz, but with Jazz, you're going to pop in another 30 steals if he's healthy. Even if he plays 130 games, you're going to get 30 steals. So it's hard to frown at those steals. I know he's a goofball and, there's a lot more risk there with him, but when you have the power speed upside, not a lot of guys can do what he does. So, alrighty, let's get to tier 2. Let's see if I can do this without covering our faces. That's the trick. I don't know how John always is so good at this stuff. Like he's gonna teach me some production tricks here. But basically, let's see. Is this gonna be it? Tier 2? Did it. Look at that. All right, tier 2. We got 4-man tier here. We got Luke Keeschel, Ozzy Albies, Jackson Holiday, and Travis Bazzana. And if you're watching on YouTube or Xvision, the guys that are purple, the fScores are minor league fScores. So Keeschel still didn't even play enough games last year to qualify for major league fScores because sample size is still too small for that. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these fScores. But basically I've got Keeschel at 6, Albies at 7, Holiday at 8, and Bazzana at 9. What do you think, Doc? What are you doing here? Who are you keeping? Is it Holiday?
I'm keeping Holiday, as it'd be kind of hilarious if I didn't after that rant about him being in the other tier. It's a total fraud. No, I am keeping him, easily keeping him. And then Keeschel, though, it is tempting, but Keeschel, I was thinking was like he's on the verge of that first tier for sure. I think he's being drafted right now, like he's already there, which is interesting. You're not really getting a lot of discount. The cat's out the bag. If you play in an OBP or any kind of league that utilizes, on base percentage, even incorporated into OPS, it's like he plays really well there. Just I think a really all around solid player. So he's my draftee is Keeschel and cutting the other two. Although I think it's an interesting buying opportunity on Bazzana. It's like you want like a boring 2020 all around kind of guy. Yeah, he may not be the super flashy league winner, but I think he's an underappreciated talent. I mean, clearly you have him pretty high here, I'd say. So shout out to you. I'd take him over Albies if that was the question. It's not the question here, but I'd take him over Albies in like a pick one, keep forever in a dynasty pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big age gap there, 6 years, and Albies is almost already like declining. Like
he's so weird. He's like Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, he is. He's always on and off, but like, would you be surprised if like he's already had his best year of his career? Like to me, I feel like he's already had the best year of his career, Ozzy Albies. Yeah. I don't think we're gonna see him have I don't have it in front of me right now, but I don't know what his best year was. But I know he's had some 2020 years. I don't really know if I see that happening again. Like I guess I would say statistically his best year was 2021, 30 homers, 20 steals. Like there's no way he does that again, right?
Well, he went from 33 home runs in 23 to 10 home runs in 2024. He's not really that fast. He doesn't seem to really hit the ball that hard. He's just kind of like it's weird. You look at his Savant page, it's almost like he's like a worse Caleb Durbin, like in every way. I don't know how. It almost makes you wonder how he must just pull the ball. I haven't looked at his profile yet, but he must just pull the ball right to even get to 16 home runs last year. I don't know what he was doing, and he's had a lot of injuries, right? So I believe one of them was a wrist injury.
Yeah, he's also been like he's had incredible luck. I feel like his whole career.
33 home runs is insane for a guy his size in his profile.
Yeah, he's definitely a pull guy. Like he had a 50% pull rate last year, so it's like it's not quite Isaac Paredes, but it's up for pull
51. Rates. Yeah, so it's funny how you can just like this is the thing, folks. Like you without even having to look into the profile, you just like in terms of like the batted ball profile. I'm just looking at his size. I'm looking at his unpredictability, his weak metrics, and I'm like, okay, he's got to be pulling the ball. And I look down, 51% in 2023. So that explains that. But even then, it's tough to keep that going, especially I'm sure the wrist injuries didn't help. So if you're an optimist, I guess you say, further away from those injuries, the better. But I'd rather catch the guy going up on the upswing, which is Travis Bazzana, who is a completely different build to this guy, just bigger, faster, like probably a lot better for fantasy purposes.
Yeah, I think so. Like he might steal just as many bags. So
I mean, who?
Like as Albies, Bazzana
is going to steal more bags.
Majors. Yeah,
probably.
I think what I'm doing this tier is I'm going to be keeping Keeschel and then drafting Holiday.
What if he misses 2 months?
Albies is so hard to trust Like, I think that Holiday is much safer, despite despite Holiday not living up to his potential yet. He, like you said, he's still going to be 22. This is crazy. I think like metrically, everything under the hood looks good for him to kind of have like a bump season here. So I'm going to draft Holiday here, and I'm keeping Keishel just because I think Keishel is super underrated. Like the main thing for him is health. He's had talk about injury issues. He's had some injury issues, right? Like 2024, he was fire, played 102 games. And I think he came off Tommy John. I think he had Tommy John in 2023, or maybe it was the other way around. Maybe he had Tommy John at the end of 2024, but I know he got Tommy John, and then came back last year. Only played in 87 games or something. It's only half of a season for Keishel last year, but 5 bombs and 25 steals between the majors and minors over that time span, and really good contact rates, like really stellar hit tool and plate approach. Again, though, like his power, like the power that we've seen him get to, like he had 15 bombs in 2024 in 102 games. Like he doesn't hit the ball that hard. His average EVs were like hover between like 86 to 88, and his max is like 109. So like he doesn't hit the ball that hard. So he's going to be more of like kind of like an Albies when it comes to his power. Like that's how he's going to get into his home runs. But I think he's just a way better hitter than Albies. Like you might get he might have more speed and a better hit tool than Albies, and then like just run into close to as many home runs just because he's going to have a similar approach. So,
and he's also just a bigger human being. 6 foot 190 is a lot bigger than 5'7", 165. So
yeah,
you know,
and younger too. So that matters.
You can grow into some more. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So that's tier 2. Let's see if I can get tier 3. Let's do it, Tim. Let's be 3 for 3 here. If I could do this, because by the way, when I'm doing this, I basically have to guess. It just shows all the screenshots I took, and I just have to guess which one. Oh, look at that. 3 for 3. That's fire. Yeah, I know, right? So tier 3, we've got 5-man tier. Brandon Lau, Gleyber Torres, Jett Williams, Brett Beatty, and the injured, mystery return of Jordan Westburg here. So we're going to keep one of these guys, draft 2 of these guys, and cut 2 of these guys. And I did move Jordan Westburg down since this injury occurred. I had him previously, I think, right below Lau and ahead of Torres.
Man, I feel like Lau is this guy who I never even look at. I always have to just remind myself, why do people talk about this guy again? It's just the Rays are such a weird team. And
he's at Pittsburgh, by the way. Now I know. I can see that. That's a
yes. But you know, when he was on the Rays, I kind of just check out with them. I don't know why, if it's all the platooning they do. It's just like not really a team, at least with the hitters, that I really gravitate towards. So, and of course, kind of a generic name, Brandon Lau and all that. But yeah, he's kind of reliable, right? Smacking 21 home runs back to back, and then 31 last year. If you're in an OBP league, it's less fun, like no OPS.
He's basically good Nolan Gorman. He's like what Nolan Gorman should
be. That's a good call. It's an interesting call. He's not that big. He's 5'10", 190, but he just gets the most of it, right? It's not always size. It's how you use it, I guess. I remember I definitely drafted Gleyber last year and was very pleased with myself with the outcome. You know, it's Comerica. This is a tough tier. It's not a very sexy tier. I will say that. Like Jordan Westburg, if he didn't get hurt, I might have had him higher. And I was always like already out on Westburg a little bit just because I feel like he isn't reaching his potential and is getting hurt all the time. And that was before he got hurt again. So he's cut. Beatty.
Don't you like that I got Jett Williams on Milwaukee here, but I did not get Lau on Pittsburgh on their write-ins?
You're dying inside on that one. That one's hurting you.
That's just for John, I think.
It's he did that?
No, I think I just had like a subliminal Easter egg to just screw with him a little bit.
Okay. Man, I'm trying to think about the Brett Beatty. People always get a little bit more excited about him than I do. This is a tough one. Like the last couple of tiers, I knew exactly what I wanted to do here. But as you can tell, folks, this is evidence that we don't share the questions beforehand. This is a straight up true keep, draft, cut. Gosh, it just sounds crazy to keep Jett Williams, but I think I'm doing it just because I don't want to draft him. I don't know what he's going to do this year. I guess I'll do it for the upside, and I'll draft Lau and Torres, and then I'll cut Beatty and Westberg. It feels a lot easier after doing that. It's just what to do with the keeper, because Lau and Torres are they're not the same player, but they feel like they're similar value, almost identical in different ways. Just like, Torres is more polished all around, but less sexy in one category, especially in Comerica. So whereas Lau, kind of just a power beast, and then. Yeah, Beatty and Westberg kind of the same guy, like in different ways, but they're not living up to that name yet, and starting to creep up a little bit in age. They got time, but it's like you got to figure it out. And I just don't know if the Mets are very forgiving or they don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if his pathway to success is with that organization.
Yeah, Jett Williams could be so great that he could be Caleb Durbin.
He is actually, yeah, he's got more power.
Dude.
He's got more power than Derb. So like that's the crazy thing. He's like kind of a great fit with the Brewers. That's a great way to put it. Imagine Caleb Durbin, but almost as good, maybe even a little better.
Yeah. Caleb Durbin on steroids, but not literally, just like hypothetically or whatever. So, I'm gonna throw this thing up here. Jett Williams, look, here we are on MLB Data Warehouse, so make sure you subscribe. But look at Jett Williams' fScores: 111 power, 100 hit, 112 discipline, 119 speed. So we have here a 104.5 90 EV. That's higher than the Derbs, I think. The average EV, I want to say, is lower though, or maybe his Derbs was like 84 or something. What was Durbin's?
No.
I'm gonna bring it up right now. Caleb Durbin. Average EV last year. Of course, he was in the majors, 85.2. So there we go.
But coming up, it was higher. And
88.
At the end of the day, and I haven't seen Jett Williams play, but Durbin's a grinder, so he'll like chop them into the ground and just like mess up his average EV. Like he'll intentionally just chop them and hit sprint to first, like a dog.
Yeah. Well, here's where Jett's got him, dude. Check this out. A 22.2% air pull is insane for a little dude. That's like a ridiculous air pull. So he's going to run into like 20 home runs just based on angles, 8% barrel rate and 18-degree average launch angle. So he has way better angles than Derbs. That's the difference. Derbs had I'm trying to pull it up right now. Derbs had an 18% line drive, 42% ground ball. So we're looking at a little bit better of a line drive rate here and just really good air pull metrics. Whereas Derbs is kind of like average. Like Derbs isn't bad for air pull. He's just pretty much like right down the center of Main Street here. So Jett, just really good angles, really good plate skills. I like Jett Williams a lot. I think I'm gonna also keep Jett Williams here, even though I really like Brett Beatty. But the Mets bring all these dudes in. It's like how much playing time is Beatty gonna get now? I think Beatty I really like still as like an underrated asset, I guess I would call him, like an underrated potential guy here for leagues because I think he's just going to be cheap now. But I'm not going to draft him. I'm still going to draft Brandon Lau because Brandon Lau is like a banked thing. Like he's going to hit 25 to 30 bombs. Probably in Pittsburgh less, probably more like 25, but he's going to be like the cleanup hitter on that team. And now that he's not on the Rays and he's in Pittsburgh, like, is he going to get platooned still? Probably not because like who else are they going to put there? Like Nick Gonzalez? Like you're not going to sit Brandon Lau for Nick Gonzalez. So it's like, okay, like maybe Spencer Horwitz plays a little bit second and like gets in there, I guess would be like the if they do platoon him, it'd be like Spencer Horwitz, not Nick Gonzalez, I think. But yeah, I'm still going to draft. I'm going to draft Lau and I'm going to keep Jett Williams. So that's tier 3. Let's get to tier 4. Oh, let's see if I can keep this magic up, Doc. Let's see if I can do it. Everyone who's like listening is like, what is he talking about? But you have to be watching to kind of figure out that Tim is not as good of a producer as John. So it just is what it is. Yes, I did it. Boom. Check it out. 4 for 4, baby. So tier 4, we have a 7-man tier starting with Xavier Edwards, Nico Horner, very similar guys, Matt McClain, bad year last year, Luis Garcia Jr., Brennan Donovan. Now I didn't add his thing. Maybe that's just me being sad. I got to update him to Seattle. Colt Keith, Detroit, and Bryson Stott, Philadelphia Phillies. This is an interesting tier. All these guys are usable in fantasy leagues, so it's not like we're at dead people yet. All these guys are definitely very usable still. But we're going to keep one here, Doc. We're going to draft 3 and we're going to cut 3. Very interesting tier because there's like a lot of these guys have been around for a little bit, for like 2-3 years. So there's not like a rookie guy or like an obvious like top prospect type keep.
No, I think there is an obvious keeper. I think it's Nico Horner. I think the whole industry is too low on him. I think he's not the same guy as Xavier Edwards. He steals the same, if not more, stolen bases. He's got a little bit more pop at least. I just think he's more reliable, and there's basically there's no. I don't know if Xavier Edwards' role is ever going to be really in jeopardy, but with Kaba coming up, there's no doubt in my mind that Horner is locked in and he's going to be a major league regular for a while. Whereas Xavier Edwards has like 1 home run power, and that's just you always wonder if you get the wrong manager in there, or wrong mindset. They just don't like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's more of a replaceable guy, more of a guy who can turn into a platoon or a utility bat. So Nico, I just like him. Maybe it's also because he's in a way better offense. Historically, the Cubs at least. Miami, I like Miami coming up.
What's better park too?
Yeah. So I'm keeping Horner. It's an interesting tier here. I just don't rely. How many games did Matt McClain get in last year? Let's take a look. And is he even good? Because remember, there was so much hype, and
he was terrible. He was terrible last year, but he still had a bunch of homers and steals. So even despite being terrible, he had a 220 batting average. He still had 15 homers and 18 steals.
Yeah. The problem was he couldn't stay healthy, and I just checked out. There's some guys when I'm not interested anymore, I'll just check out. And so
he gained 12 pounds of muscle this offseason, Doc.
You need to do
Best
that.
shape of his life. He's basically Roman Anthony 2.0. I mean,
gosh,
I didn't see any muscle photos blown up of Matt McClain though. Only Roman Anthony.
His metrics are so bad. How's he doing this right now? Like, you're betting on is he going to fully recover, and because obviously he was affected metrically last year. It's not great. I'm going to draft Colt Keith to start, which is going to maybe shock some people because he's super boring now. He came up as this him and Kobe Mayo were kind of like around the same in ranks, at least for me, in prospect ranks before they debuted. Thinking they're both built kind of big, both will be sluggers. I think the consensus was Mayo's got more pure slugging ability. But still, I think that we figured that Keith wouldn't be far behind him. It was interesting. Keith's just come up and been able to be a really good, solid hitter. Not really rocking the Sox. Maybe if he was in Sacramento, he'd be going for 30. But in Comerica, he's been more of a blah guy. But it plays, especially in deeper leagues, I think, and he's young too, so I think there's room for improvement and an exceptional lineup. The only issue that you want to be concerned about is this influx of infielders that are on the way, right? The McGonagalls, the further away is Rayner, and then you got the Asian guy. I'm sorry, guys. It's like, what's more offensive, mispronouncing the name or saying the Asian guy?
How you Lee?
Here, I'll do another one too. How about the Scandinavian guy?
The Scandinavian guy. Who's that?
They have I'm so exhausted now. Who's the
Max
white
Anderson?
Guy? That's the one.
The guy with the glasses.
Yeah, Anderson's Swedish.
You mean the nerd?
Anderson's Swedish.
Anderson is Swedish? I didn't know that, dude. I thought it was just like English.
Pretty sure Anderson is I know Swedes and
why? Because there's a son Erickson Anderson.
I think
Anders
so. Yeah,
that makes sense. Like Anders' son.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because Tucker Carlson, I know he's talked about being Swedish. I know there's there's all these guys who, and then what's the other? Yeah, I grew up watching a lot of hockey, and all these guys with the SS. Well, the SSON is easier to spot.
Yeah,
the SON probably got anglicized. Anyway, so there we go, folks. We got an Asian guy and a Swedish guy walk into a bar. And they try to kick Keith out of his roster spot. And there's Jace Young just hanging out for some reason too. A bunch of guys are coming up. Bryce Rayner down the road. So yeah, but for this year, I think Keith's got it locked in, and so we'll see what happens. I gotta hurry it up here because we're kind of going on in this position. It's just Luis Garcia just doesn't get me going, so we'll get rid of him. Gosh, a lot of boring guys versus one-trick ponies, Like, what are we doing here? I guess I'll draft Matt McClain. You kind of talked me into him as like he is just something in this tier that the other guys don't have. Yeah, I think I can feel pretty comfortable saying that, like the 2020 upside, 15-15 even upside. So I got keep it Horner, draft Keith, draft McClain. Do I want mid Donovan? He's so good in real life. Do I want mid Stott? Kind of the same deal. I want specialist Edwards. I hate. I'm just gonna take. I'm gonna take. If it's a 30-teamer. If it's a 30-teamer, I can't take Donovan. I gotta be sexy. Go Xavier Edwards. I'm going it.
Oh,
I had to do it, man. It's fantasy. In real life, I take Donovan every day.
Man, you're going Blake Snell's best friend. So I'm in this tier. I'm crazy. I would still keep Matt McClain. I'm such a
wow.
Fool me thrice. Shame on me. I don't know. I've always been a Matt McClain guy. I've loved Matt McClain since he first debuted. Before he debuted, I was the guy pumping Matt McClain before he ever even debuted. When he was a rookie and he was awesome. I was the one who was on him before. In spring, I was like, this guy's gonna break out. Watch this guy. He's having a killer spring. And then he had an awesome season and then got hurt. So I'm just gonna stick with it. Francona trusts him. I trust Tito. So I like Tito's vodka. Transitive property. I like Tito's vodka. And I trust Tito. So I'm gonna trust Matt McClain because Tito trusts Matt McClain. So I'm going to keep Matt McClain. And I'm going to draft Luis Garcia Jr. I'm going to draft Brendan Donovan because Brendan Donovan is a stud who plays like 5 positions. So he's like the best bench player ever. That's the guy you want just as your super utility guy on your bench to like fill in for when someone gets hurt so you don't lose points basically. So I love Donovan, especially the deeper the league, the more valuable Donovan is. So I'm going to draft Garcia, draft Donovan, and I'm basically between Nico Horner and Cole Keith. I just hate the type of player Nico Horner is, but he's the best at it, so I guess I'll draft him. Like, I just hate those guys where there's, like, no power. It's just like, okay, batting average and speed. Like, I really don't like drafting that type of guy, but he is the best at that. So Nico Horner it is, and then everyone else is a cut. So Bryson Stott, I think, again, we didn't even talk about Stott. Stott is like those other guys. Yeah. He's like Horner and Edwards, but he just hasn't been as effective, and he hits at the bottom of the lineup. So that's going to matter when you have a speed guy. You want them to get runs. Like if you're doing that from like the 8 or 9 hole, you're only getting like 60 runs instead of like 90 runs, which really like is that the difference between like Victor Scott and a bunch of other these speed guys next year? Maybe. So let's get to the next tier.
I still can't. I think you went with your heart with Donovan. He just steals no bases. He's just.
He's gonna go like 15-10 and hit 280.
He'll hit like 3 more home runs than Nico Horner.
This is the thing though. If he is healthy this year in that lineup, he's gonna do way better because the lineup is way better. Like who did he have behind him last year? Alec Burleson and a bunch of and like half of Ivan Herrera. Like that's that's it. Oh look, I keep getting. Oh, there we go. Wait, boom. No. Look at that. Okay, there's first mistake, Tim. Production Tim. Tier 5. We're going to keep 1, draft 2, cut 3. We've got Kristian Campbell making a comeback, change his swing up a little bit. Got his payday already. Is he going to be what's that? Kingsbury? Was that his name? The guy from the Phillies that they gave him a bunch of money and then he just died? What's his name?
Was it Kingman?
It's something like
Kingery.
Yeah, Scott Kingery. Is he Scott Kingery or is he way better than that? So Kristian Campbell, we got Otto Lopez, good hit tool. Michael Arroyo, prospect for the Mariners. Jorge Polanco. Jose Altuve, old man Altuve. Adele Amador with the Rockies. Like, everyone forgot he existed. And then we've got Marcus Semien. So we got some old guys. We got a couple medium-aged guys, and we got a couple of young guys. This is a fun tier. Keep 1, draft 2, cut 3, Doc.
I'm gonna stay loyal to Kristian Campbell. And so crazy, dude. I'm gonna keep him, but like so crazy and humbling to the fantasy community. Whenever people get snarky or like possessive over prospects or like completely offended that they could possibly not work out, Kristian Campbell, and like that's like. there's all more obvious examples of people who unfortunately just really, really, really never worked out. But like the same people who may have been mad at you for not having Kristian Campbell as a top 1 or top 3 even prospect, not so long ago. Now now I don't know a lot of people who have him. I mean, do you have him in your top 100 for prospect rankings? Is he still a prospect? No, he's not.
He's not a prospect anymore.
He's not a prospect anymore. Yeah.
I just pulled up if you're watching.
Would you? I guess I'll ask that.
Would you should.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look. I would keep him too. But look, I just pulled him up. We have not even looked at this at all this whole year, this whole offseason, because he's not a prospect anymore.
Yeah.
But Kristian Campbell, here's his fScores, his minor league data. He's still young. That he got a 168 adjusted WRC plus still, even being a 22-year-old or whatever last year for the majority of the minors. 104 power, 102 hit, 106 discipline, 96 speed. That's his minor leagues only, not his major leagues. You could see his stolen bases dropped significantly. He basically played half a season in the minors, Doc, and he only had 4 attempts at 4 steals. Like, what is that? His stolen base attempt rate literally dropped down to 4%. So, like, he could steal. I mean, he has a 75% clip. That's not ideal, but 24 steals the year before. So, like, I think that this is just him, like, working on things, like, not
working
actually
on
like
what position he's going to be playing.
Yeah, exactly. Was he playing first? Like, they had him playing first because, like, Devers didn't want to play first, and then like Devers gave him crap, and was like, "Who's this guy? I think he can play first instead of me." Yeah. Like, so, like, yeah. I mean, I don't know. They're messing around with him a lot. I feel like he just wasn't playing. Like, I feel like he was like trying too hard. It's almost one of those scenarios where it's like, dude, just go back to the game that like made you good to begin with, because he was a top 5 prospect for me. So like, I don't want to give up on him after one bad year. I think that we need to give him another year. Like, I think it's too early to say this is like the next Jared Kelenic, right? Like, it's way too early for that. You can see, though, like his 90th EV and his average EV were terrible last year. 84 average, 102.7, 90th with a 111 max. So he maxes out hard, but like his angles were atrocious. EVs were bad. He wasn't running. So like he did not have a good year. Contact rates were only okay after being like amazing in 2024. So yeah, I mean, I'm concerned. Like, we can look at his let's look at his 2024 here. Look at that. His EVs went up like 4 miles an hour across the board when we changed to 2024. He still hit the ball to the ground way too much, but just a complete difference. His contact rate's 82% in 90% zone. So like, it's just too early to give up on him. I think you're right. I think you have to keep him. I think it's crazy to give up on this talent after 1 year.
Yeah, it's not even like a sexy buy when you go to propose a trade for him. You're like, I don't know if I feel 100% confident, but like logically, it's just nonsense. If you believed in him a year ago, you can't drop out that fast. The next 2 here, Polanco, I'll draft because, gosh, just stay healthy. He's had some he's a pretty underrated player. He's about to be a little overrated maybe if he starts crushing in New York, but. He's been in Seattle for a little while and not a great park. I just think that in terms of drafting, trying to win a championship right now, I think that's a great bet. Let's go review Altuve. I've written off Altuve, so let me just make sure.
So like 26 bombs or something last year.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting, right? So, because you look at that. Well, who else are we looking at here in terms of drafting? Like
Semien, or unless you'd like believe Adel Amador is going to break out.
No. No, dude. I think Amador is going to be a very boring, like probably major leaguer, but I don't think he's going to be the 2020 guy people think he is. Semien, gosh, it's like what a fall off. Nope, I'm going to go with Altuve, Manlet King. Rise up, brother. So that's my keep, cut too. And so everyone else, keep and then draft Polanco and Altuve, and I'll cut the rest. Shout out to Otto Lopez. He's kind of boring, but like 15-15, like it's a deep league value, probably still more about almost as valuable as Brandon Donovan. But
yeah, better in points leagues because he gets a lot of hits. 15-15, kind of like a surprising 15-15. So yeah, Otto Lopez for points leagues maybe. Way less so in Roto, but points leagues not bad because he does get a decent amount of hits. So next on the list here, Let's see, Doc. Can I do it? Can I? So we have 2
Oh,
left.
did you tell me what yours were?
Oh, I'm doing the same thing, bro. I'm doing
Okay.
the same exact thing as you. Yeah, same exact thing.
Yeah.
We're on the same page there.
Nice.
All right. So next we got a big tier here, and then we've got our massacre. So tier 6, we have 10 guys. We have Aroon Escobar, a prospect with the Phillies. Casey Schmitt, Giants, does a lot of things. Second, third, short. Tommy Troy, probably going to come up. When he'll debut, I don't know. We talked about him a little bit before, so Tommy Troy, kind of interesting. Lennon Sosa, Alex Freeland with the Dodgers, just like the next whatever Dodgers guy who gets rides the bench for way too many years. Kristian, but he's actually good. Christian Moore, who is basically the next Nolan Gorman. And then we've got Nolan Gorman, this Nolan Gorman, and then we've got 3 different Nolan Gormans we talked about between Lau, Christian Moore, and Nolan Gorman. The actual Nolan Gorman. Which one has the mask? Which one has one of those stretchy masks with like the? You think they all have Nolan Gorman masks at home?
You gotta relax, man. You gotta control.
Nighttime. Davis Schneider. We got Davis Schneider here. Platoon wizard. Ernie Clement, not a platoon wizard, but a really good hitter. And then we've got Jay Cronenworth. So got a 10-man tier. Keep 2, draft 2, cut 6.
Yeah, this is disgusting. Things just get too out of control here.
This is your deep league stuff here.
Yeah, lesson learned, folks. Don't let your second base, take this long. Don't be relying on these guys. I'm gonna keep Tommy Troy for sure. He's kind of come around to be the guy that some of us hoped he would be, like a boring 15-15 or 15-20 or 20-20 maybe kind of guy with good ratios, and that was looking like it wasn't gonna be the case. And now he's shifted around positions a little bit, and seems like he had a really good comeback season last year, one he needed, and I think he's positioned to have sooner success than Jordan Lawler, maybe better long-term success too, depending on how all that goes. Just as
he's gonna be in the infield still. Lawler, they moved to the outfield, so
yeah, it's kind of the Kristian Campbell thing going on over there. Just like try to get him somewhere, I guess. It's like, how does that make you feel as a player? Like, oh gosh, like there's not too many more options left here, right?
Yeah. Don't hit good enough for this position. Let's get you over here and see how that works.
Sure, yeah, exactly. So Tommy Troy, though, I think he'll be up and contributing quite a bit this year, so it's a good one. The Freeland guy is just like any Dodgers prospect, just so weird. I'm like, if you're in the club, it's great. If you're not, it's really annoying. So what did he do? He got 29 games up in MLB last year. Did he actually? But how many? 97 plate appearances. Didn't really do great. But he's been like pretty solid in the minors. I don't,
he was good in minors.
Yeah, is that a keeper though? Nolan Gorman is like a guy.
He was on any other team. Put Alex Freeland on the Rockies. He might be the best guy on the team.
I think I know my two draftees. I'm going to draft Ernie Clement and Nolan Gorman because that's just a crazy thing to do. I hate doing it. Like, I love the idea of Gorman, but like, I like to watch the Cardinals, but he's just not the guy. You want to talk about Freeland for a bit because you pulled him up there?
Yeah, I want to look. He has a 103 power fScore, 100 hit, 110 discipline, 104 speed. I know he never made my top 150 prospects, and the reason being is because he profiles as a really solid player, but not like there's like no star value. Look at his max EV, dude. 106 is so lame. 103 990th is okay though. So it's like, okay, what does he really like profile as? Is like a 270 guy who can hit 15 homers and steal like 10 bags is basically what you have over full time. But it's like, will you ever get the playing? If you're that guy and you're on a team full of superstars, you're just never going to get a chance. He's just going to basically he's going to be the next Enrique Hernandez. He's just going to be like or like the next Chris Taylor. He's just going to be one of these guys who plays a bunch of positions for the Dodgers for 8 years or whatever. It's switched there too, so keep him around.
I can see that.
Yeah. All right.
So
what else are you doing here?
So I didn't actually say what I was going to do with Freeland. I was just pondering over him. So keeping Troy, I'm drafting Gorman and Ernie Clement for different reasons because they're two opposites, right? Clement's is all around grinder, especially in a batting average league that'll play. He's just like an old school kind of player, I feel like, and he knows how to pull the ball. was actually doing some work, and my buddy was like, well, the guy I was working with was like, hey, and I played lacrosse in college, so roommates with Ernie Clement. This was like the end of 2024, so this is before he was cool, right? But I had him in a league. I was like, dude, I got him in a 20-man CBS league. It's actually great, really useful. It's batting average only. So, and then of course he caught fire, and people in Toronto really love him last year. How is he already 30? That's insane. Yeah, he seems like he's
Taylor of the Blue Jays.
Yeah, so he's reliable enough, getting to score some runs. And then Gorman is just like, well, this is like his last chance to prevent an overseas trip, a one-way ticket to Asia, right?
Yeah,
this could be it, folks, because they're giving him all the chances in the world. Goodness gracious! And if they were competitive right now, if things had worked a little bit better with other prospects, then maybe he wouldn't be getting this chance. So we'll see. If it all comes together and he can just hover around the 30% strikeout mark. Big up, like there's 30 plus home runs here. We've seen him when he gets hot. He's one of the best players in baseball, or batters in baseball. It's great. So I'm gonna draft him just to throw, because this is all garbage here. So not all garbage. Sorry guys, these are human beings, but it's a lot of like not sexiness. That's like the sexy guy out of this group. So drafting Gorman, drafting Clement, keeping Troy, and just for the brevity's sake, let's just keep Christian Moore to see what the heck happens, because he'll probably come up this year anyway, and who knows? He's swing and a miss kind of guy. But yeah, I guess I'll have to cut the rest. Shout out to Freeland, the forever Dodger, Aroon Escobar. Like he just this mid kind of thing going on, right? A lot of mid going on here. I think you're pretty. It's funny. I always see Jake Cronenworth go like surprisingly high in deep leagues, but I can never see why you're attracted to anything about that.
It's because he plays multiple positions, and if you're in a points league, he's good in points leagues because he always walks. And he doesn't strike out often, so he's good. He's good for points leagues. Can't deny that.
I see it outside of points leagues too. So this guy's just weird.
Yeah, that's just weird. Well, also, I guess if you want exposure to the Padres lineup, because the Padres are a complete stars and scrubs team, so that'll work. Okay, what I'm going to do with this tier is I'm going to be drafting Gorman, just like you. I'm going to be drafting Ernie Clement, just like you. I'm going to be keeping Tommy Troy, just like you, and I'm also going to keep Aroon Escobar.
Okay.
So Aroon Escobar, fScores 108 power, 104 hit, 103 discipline, 108 speed. Really good contact rate, 78% contact, 88% zone, 24 steals last year with an 83% success rate, and good EVs for a middle infielder here. 89.2 average EV, 104.7 90th, almost a 111 max. Those are good EVs for a middle infielder. So, and he's young still. He's 20. So, like, there's a lot of room for him to grow. So, I'm pretty big on Aroon Escobar. There aren't a lot of good middle infield prospects, and he's one of them because he doesn't suck at anything, right? Like, and it's funny. I was talking to Chris Blessing, and Blessing was like, my secret for second base prospects is find a guy with a 50 hit tool that can either steal 20 bags or hit 20 home runs, and that's a guy that's going to matter for fantasy. So, like, I think Aroon Escobar has at least a 50 hit tool, probably a 55 or 60 hit tool even. And I think that he could probably hit 20 home runs, and he could maybe steal 15 bags. So I gave him a 50 out of 60 on the hit tool even. So Aroon Escobar, I comped him to Jean Segura because he reminds me of him mechanically. That's my comp I threw on him, but I like him. So that's who I'm going to keep. Let's get to the massacre, the final countdown. Let me see if I can get it. Dude, I've got one left. Let's see if I can actually hit the right one. Let's see if let's see if it will actually show this whole thing on the page. Check that out. We got so many guys here. All right. We got Demetrio Crisantes, Aaron Estrada, Jefferson Rojas, Rami Gonzalez, Jonathan India, Cody Clemens, Cole Young, David Hamilton, Thomas Sajazi, Jadher Arenamo, Willie Castro, Maximo Acosta, Brian Rocchio, Tommy Edman, Jeff McNeil, Termar Johnson, Gavin Killen, Hyseung Kim, Tyler Freeman, Rock Riggio, Max Muncy from the Athletics, Andres Jimenez, Josh Adamczewski, Sam Antonacci. You like how I put the Antonacci and the Adamczewski, even though it's Polish and Italian, like their names still sound alike. Luis Rengifo, Luis Angel. I did not do the Luises on purpose either. Luis Angel Acuna, Nick York, Edmundo Sosa, Zach Galoff, Ryan Ritter, Nick Gonzalez, the worst player in baseball. No, I'm just joking. These are just trying to make John sad. These are your second basemen for the massacre. We're gonna keep one, draft one, and everybody else. Tommy Gunn.
So Crisantes, didn't he had an injury last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he was hand injury.
Yeah, he was awesome until he got hurt too.
This is a tough one, right?
I love Crisantes.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good. He's interesting to me. I mean, what do we have here? What kind of profile? He's now 21 though, and he's only played 34 games at high A. So it's like, let's kick it up a gear. Hopefully he can get healthy and not have that too sad. There's actually some interesting targets here. We'll see what happens with Tamar Johnson. I'm not really super intrigued, but at this point, Maximo Acosta, I think we've talked about it before. Like, kind of an interesting profile. We'll see what happens here. Like, it's a flyer situation. Someone who wouldn't have been on my radar at all for fantasy, David Hamilton, is kind of like, is there a better place he could have gone? I'm going to go check out what roster resource has him at in Milwaukee, because that's basically the only team where I'm like, oh yeah, like let's take a look.
Yeah, that's their kind of guy.
Yeah, so he's right now he's not a starter, but I feel like he's going to get playing time. I feel this is like a guy who could steal you 30 bases this year. If he just gets like decent playing time, even as a super utility. Cole Young will be my keeper. Will he? Because I like Crisantes too, and like I could draft Cole Young. Oh gosh, no, I'm gonna go with my gut here though, and just say that Crisantes is just a little bit far away, and Cole Young, I'm not gonna. I think what you said is true with Cole Young. Is like maybe he could be the 15-15. He could be like a Bryson Stott. He just. I know. I actually started selling on him. I was buying him, and then I realized, okay, I don't think this power is coming the way we thought it was. There was a half season, the first half of the season, I had him in like my top 10 for one ranking. And then by the end of the season, or like a month later, to be honest, he went ice cold again. I'm like, just looking at him, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know, dude. I think that I noticed how often he was getting caught
last year.
Yeah, I noticed how often he was getting caught stealing. Oh gosh, well, his numbers in MLB were even worse than I thought. So that's tough, but what was
Scott? He had bad luck too, though. 247 BABIP is pretty bad luck. Like his exit velocities were actually pretty interesting last year. One may not notice this, but 114 max EV for a middle infielder is pretty sick. And he's always had a really good plate approach and a really good hit tool. And he's always been young for the level. Like literally, he walked more than he struck out in AAA last year.
Yeah, gosh, it's a tough one. But
I love him for points leagues, man. Cole Young is like an super underrated points leagues target.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. My alternate world, I would keep Crisantes and draft Young, but in this world, I'm gonna keep Young and draft David Hamilton. Just because the reasons I told you, like that wouldn't have happened before the trade. He's a sketchy hit tool. It's just not clear what kind of where he's going to stick, or if he can play decent enough defense just around. He's like, I guess it's the perfect spot. Keep him as a super utility guy. Weekly lineups, maybe that's not as fun, but daily lineups, you plug him in there. You never know. He goes off for 2 or 3 steals in some games, right? He's a freak out there. What's his sprint speed? It has to be really good. I don't even know if it is good, but he steals a lot. So I'm assuming he's very fast. I've seen him. I remember he flashed some power at one point too.
I think he's one of the 5 or 10 fastest guys in baseball. Like obviously not Chandler Simpson's there, but I think a couple
he's
years ago,
95th percentile. So even last year we all just remember that's actually insane. So last year, these are insane numbers. Yeah. So I thought he played a little more in 2024 at least, but he actually only had 194 plate appearances and stole 22 bags. 317 plate appearances in 24, got 33 bags. This guy plays half a season, he'll steal you 30 stolen bases. He'll give you 30 stolen bases. You want his ratios to be more like 24 than 25, where it was 248 batting average, 303 OBP. It's like, okay, we can live with it. Versus the putrid 198, 257 last year. That's it's called bottoming out. But yeah, in 2024, he had 8 home runs too, which is just he was hitting that sweet spot. It's interesting. If you can just he doesn't have to be a full-time guy, but I guess, yeah, in deeper leagues, I'm pretty happy getting a cheap 30 stolen bases. Throw them in there, right?
Yeah. Let me tell you what I'm going to do in this tier. I'm going to draft Luis Rengifo, who just signed with the Milwaukee Brewers yesterday.
I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah. So Rengifo just signed with the Brewers, and he was hurt last year. So he had a really crappy season. But in 2024, he had a 118 WRC plus, and in 78 games had 6 home runs and 24 steals in half a season. In 2023, in 126 games, he had 16 bombs and 6 steals. 2022, 17 homers and 6 steals. So this guy, if he had a full season of playing time, and he's getting a change of scenery, so that might help him out. But if he had a full season of playing time, he'd be like a 260 hitter that goes like 15-20 or something like that, which is pretty useful. And he plays a bunch of positions too. So he plays like second, short, third. So again, like this is like your poor man's Brendan Donovan kind of. And the Brewers are pretty good with these types of guys. Sometimes also they get these types of guys and then they just like die and you like never hear them again. So it's like either they fully recover or they just like fall off the face of the earth and like they're done. They're in like Korea the next year. Not even Japan, dude. They're like relegated all the way down to Korea League or like Taiwan
Siberia.
League or something. Yeah, Siberia. There you go. Send them to Siberian prison camp. Then we got for my keeper, I've got Demetrio Crisantes. You were really on the fence about Crisantes. I'm going to throw his numbers up.
If he wasn't hurt, I'm pretty sure it would have been a lot easier for me.
If he wasn't hurt, this guy would be ranked so highly. I have him as my 64 prospect, and he'd probably be top 50 if he never got hurt. fScores. This guy only played in a quarter of a season, had 6 steals and 4 home runs, but this is what matters. He walked more than he struck out. He had an 86% contact rate. And Doc, we don't have his EV numbers here, but he had a 117 max EV in Complex League when he was still like 2 years ago in 2023. And last year he had a 106.5 90th. So this guy hits the ball really, really hard. He has hit the ball very, very hard before. So hit ball hard, check. Contact, check. Steals bags, check. Health, not check. That's all he needs. Oh, and he walks too. So everything check, just not health. So Demetrio Crisantes, if he is healthy, this could be like a big time riser. Like this is an underrated buy for any dynasty league at this point.
Yeah, something that got me like interested too. I'm like, when he was first popping off, I'm like, I don't know about this DSL. You know, he's probably didn't face the best competition growing. And then I realized, no, he's actually from a border town in America. So he in Arizona, I believe. Nogales?
Oh, so he's a hometown guy. I didn't even know that. He's a hometown kid. That's like bonus points.
Yeah, no. So, well, it also just helps because he faced better competition, right, and likely had better access to, just to development than he would have if he was not born in the United States of America. So it just means that he may be a little bit more polished than you expect with a guy, frankly, with a name of like Crisantes. So yeah, he's like an American with Mexican background, but yeah.
I think it's hilarious that he had a 5.5% swing strike rate last year. Yeah. That's like comically low. That's like it's like Jacob Wilson with power and speed. That's like kind of like what his hitting profile. I mean, like obviously he shouldn't have been in high A. He was like way too good for that level. Like he should have already been in double A. So hopefully he starts this year in double A when he's healthy, or like, you know, gets to triple A. But I feel like he could be right behind Tommy Troy. And the dude is still young. He's only 21 now. So it's not like he's hurt and he like lost a whole year and he's like 24, 25. Like he's going to be 21 this year. So dude's really good. That's the podcast, Doc. You can follow Doc on the X at Doc Eisenhauer. Follow me at Fantasy Aceball. Make sure you subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse. And when you subscribe, make sure you tell John it's because of Tim and Doc. So like, it's funny. I had someone message me the other day and they said, "Hey, I subscribed because of you." And I messaged them back and I was like, "Did you tell John?" And then like I screen capped it and sent it to John and he's like, "Oh, now I have to send you money. Gross." So like, please tell John when you sign up because of Doc and Tim. So the proper people can get paid for their work. John's like, "Don't do it. Don't do it." But yeah, do that. And then also make sure you buy the prospect package if you need help drafting for your draft cheat sheets. Prospect package $29.99. I'm gonna press the end button, Doc, in 3 seconds just so we can end at exactly 60. Check that out. Boom.